Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a market analysis update for Cardano. I did want to talk about some key levels of resistance now that we've seen a more than 50% bounce off these lows, coming up into some weekly moving averages, as well as some key levels of support and resistance from back in the previous cycle. I also did want to talk about Cardano's performance against Bitcoin by looking at the ADABTC ratio and really just cover some key levels that we're retesting on this pair and my outlook on this ratio and what that means for the chart for Cardano into the next few months. So if you guys do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and check that out as well. I am fairly active over there with crypto content. So I do want to start off here on the weekly chart and cover the first major level of resistance that we're sort of meeting here right around the 35-cent level, and that is going to be the 20 and 21 weekly moving averages. So I do have them as a band. That's the red and green lines on this chart. And what you'll notice is that we've had these levels act as strong resistance throughout this entire bear market. We had the first rejection in January. We rejected right here in March. And then during the last few months of 2022, we really started to see more and more retests, but continuing to hold it as resistance. And ultimately, ADA has not been able to have any sustainable move, any breakout above the moving averages since losing them all the way back here in October of 2021. So that is a very long period of time to be spent below these. And again, that has been sort of compounding as strong resistance. We've seen it gain more and more confidence, really just with the momentum to the downside as these moving averages have been downward sloping for quite some time. So we're up at that level once again, and we're retesting that for the 6th time in this bear market. So this is a very significant retest where if ADA is able to break back above these moving averages for the first time since losing them almost a year and a half ago, that would be a very bullish sign to where I would start to see the momentum reversing and start to have more confidence that we have a longer term cycle low in place. Now, if we were to repeat the last 5 attempts and have another rejection, then at that point, I would look to the next level of support further down from here at that 15 to 17 cent mark. That's the level we discussed in the previous video. And I certainly don't think it's necessary for ADA to retest that. It's certainly not something that's guaranteed, just considering how long and how far down we are from that all-time high to the lows. We're down about 92% over 69 weeks. So that is definitely enough to suit a typical bear market and really just filter out all that sentiment. We certainly don't have to see another leg down. That is enough. But again, if we do have that rejection and we do start to see a little bit more weakness in that altcoin market as Bitcoin gains more and more dominance, then I could see that as a realistic second level that we could have a longer term cycle low in place. Anything below that I think is unrealistic and certainly something that I would not target or expect to be reached. Either we have that low right here off that pivot point at 24 cents, or we do have one final leg down. That is generally my outlook, mainly because of the time duration of this bear market and the decline that we've already seen. Again, I think that downtrend is starting to slow down. I think the momentum is starting to shift. Whether we have that final leg down or not really just depends and comes down to how we respond after this retest into the next few weeks. And it's also not just retesting the weekly moving averages, but some key levels from the previous bear market. And we can look at this level again around 35 cents. That was a huge lower high that we formed right here in 2018, a huge rally off this zone of support. Big dead cat bounce right into that, forming a longer term zone of resistance. And then we saw that as consolidation in January of 2021 before the continuation to new all-time highs. So in general, we're up at a huge level of resistance, and reclaiming this would be a very bullish sign. And that would be something that I would look to conclude this bear market. If we're rejecting at this though, then I would look out to the 15 to 17 cent region as our support. So I also did want to talk about Cardano's performance against Bitcoin, and this really goes along what I was saying earlier with Bitcoin gaining more and more dominance, where we have started to see that underperformance unfold in the last few weeks after this big rejection off the 20-week moving average, which is going to be that yellow-orangish line coming down here, averaging down, and we're coming back down to retest the lows in the support right around 1,500 Satoshis. So we did have this setup and the potential for a double bottom, but really we haven't seen any follow through. There's really no more confidence in this double bottom pattern coming back down to retest it just so soon after that rejection. So I would expect in the coming weeks a retest of those lows and then potentially a breakdown where we might start to see a loss of the support that was resistance back here in 2020 and the support that we held on the last 2 attempts in 2022. And if we do see that breakdown, again, certainly not guaranteed, it would mainly just come if Bitcoin is really gaining that market share on, say, an explosive move to the upside or to the downside where we see volatility return. If Cardano is breaking down below this level on the Bitcoin pair, that would just signify underperformance. That doesn't necessarily have to be bearish on the USD pair. It would just mean that Bitcoin would outperform it, like I'm seeing with many other altcoins as of right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.